What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Dreamscape Wrestling. We're here in Anaheim, California for the last LUCID before Limbo. I'm your host, John Francis, again with the juice.
Francis, I'm at a lot. I'm not. The show hasn't even started yet, and I'm very excited for what we have coming up.
Well, let's jump right into it with our first match. Edge will be taking on William Regal in a grudge match from last week.
William Regal spoke to Jerry the King Lawler, and they have formed a union of sorts.
The Kingsmen.
They are now the Kingsmen.
They have arrived in Dreamscape Wrestling, and William Regal cost Edge his title opportunity last week on LUCID. So it had been determined that if Edge beats William Regal this week, he will get another title opportunity against Jerry the King Lawler at Limbo.
So in order for Edge to get to the King, he literally has to go through the King's man.
Yes, and that was the whole plan all along, I think, for William Regal and Jerry the King, to make it as difficult as possible for Jerry to lose his title. And are they going to go after the tag team championships at some point?
I mean, I guess the question at this point is, what is William Regal's end game? Regal is. I honestly don't know how to explain it, but Regal has a mind for this business, but he's also a man who will do anything to get whatever he wants.
And William Regal is always 5 steps ahead of everyone else.
Absolutely. So then I have to ponder: is Regal using the King as a stepping stone to get what he wants, or does Regal legitimately want to help Jerry the King Lawler retain his Intercontinental Championship and reign supreme in DSW?
I think only time will tell as the Kingsmen make their way to the ring now.
You also have to wonder, has Regal been looking into recruiting any other members on the roster into the Kingsmen?
We don't know. Is there any other royalty on the roster that they can... Is there someone that would fit in this group dynamic that they've created?
There have been former Kings of the Ring. Bret Hart was a former King of the Ring. Wallet evaded. Edge is a former King of the Ring in 2001.
Booker T.
So there is a huge possibility here for recruitment and for growth. But again, I asked the question: what is Regal's end game?
Only time will tell. But right now we are getting ready to jump into this match here. Who do you like in this match?
Honestly, I have to give it to Edge here, because this is a much older version of Edge. This is Edge after his neck injury. This is a man who has, for 7 years...
Oh, the Edge-O-Matic right off the bat. I apologize.
This is a man who for years had to sit on the sidelines. You have to remember, Edge retired in 2011.
And it's Regal Bomb. They're breaking out the big guns early.
He came back in 2020. This is a man who for 9 years had to sit on the sidelines and watch everybody else grow in this business. So he's got that fire, that tenacity, and you remember the electricity that the crowd felt when he came back at the 2020 Royal Rumble.
Absolutely. But on the same note, you have a guy like William Regal who's looks like he's already busted open here. They're going at it to start.
There's Edge with the lapel lock.
But you also think of William Regal as a guy who was never really taken as seriously as he should have.
That's absolutely true.
He has a chip on his shoulder, and he's trying to prove that he is one of the best of all time.
Well, William Regal, in my regards, he is one of the best of all time. This man was a former United States champion in WCW, former European champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion. So he has the accolades. Now, mind you, yes, he has never been seen as a heavyweight or world champion contender, but that doesn't deny the fact that this man, William Regal, the villain, the Kingsman, William Regal, is not one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots.
Absolutely. When you talk about great technical wrestlers, William Regal has to be...
He is on the list.
Has to be in the conversation. He has to be. And right now, as we see here, he's dissecting Edge right now.
He's literally taking him apart, limb from limb, breaking him down. trying to get the upper hand, but Edge with the DDT there. Brilliant strategy or brilliant timing by Edge to reverse and get the upper hand, but not for very long. And it looked like he was going for.
But there's the pig knee that William Regal's known for. Edge might be knocked out.
Edge definitely missed his shot there with that double.
Oh, look at this!
Regal stretch.
The Regal stretch is locked in.
Is Edge gonna tap out?
Edge might tap out here. I mean, we have seen many. This is what won William Regal the King of the Ring.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not to mention he's applying a lot of pressure on that surgically repaired neck of Edge.
Absolutely. And another Edge-o-matic by Edge as he tries to fight his way back here. He's able to fight out of the Regal stretch. And it is...
And Jerry the King Lawler causing the distraction there. Momentarily distracting.
Affecting Edge, though.
Momentarily distracting. But again, this comes with the age and wisdom that Edge has at this particular point in time. Edge with the huge DDT there on Regal, and it looked like Edge was going to continue the assault, but
he might have tweaked his knee.
Yeah, absolutely.
A nice back elbow there from Regal, getting right back on top here. And I mean, these Kingsmen might be too much to handle. You saw Jerry get up on the apron there, cause the distraction. This could be a problem for Dreamscape Wrestling.
This might be the Kingsmen may be the group to have to keep a large set of eyes on going forward. Jerry the King Lawler is definitely somebody you never want to trust. You never want to turn.
And Edge is looking for it. Edge is looking for the spear. This could end it right here. Bang! Hits the spear. That's it right there. It looks like Edge is going to Limbo for a championship match too.
Regal kicked out.
Regal kicked out of the spear.
How many people?
Regal kicked out of the spear.
Not very many people have kicked out of Edge's spear.
Not many at all. And Edge trying to stay on the offensive here.
Beautiful Northern Light suplex.
Doesn't go for the bridge though, does that? And another distraction here by Jerry Lawler.
But Edge just brushing it off. Again, Edge seems to pay no mind to the King here, and he has his eyes focused on his target.
But another knee trembler by William Regal.
Could that distraction have been enough to maybe take Edge's eye off the prize for even a second?
It's very possible, and look here, it looks like Regal's going for the stretch again. Regal's got the Regal stretch in one more time.
Can Edge survive another Regal stretch?
He cannot. Edge taps. Wow. Edge taps to William Regal.
Edge is not going for the title.
He's not going to Limbo. Who does Jerry face now?
That's a very good question. Who is now a contender for the Dreamscape Intercontinental Championship?
William Regal has definitely made it obvious that he is here in Jerry's corner. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
That is very interesting indeed. But it looks like we're gonna take a bit of a shift here.
Yes.
As
on to our next match, the #1 contendership for the women's title. Beth Phoenix will go one-on-one with Stephanie McMahon.
Now this is a very interesting matchup in my opinion, simply because Stephanie McMahon has surprised the crap out of me since the first episode of Lucid. I was genuinely surprised to see her in a match with Trish Stratus, a former women's champion, and now she's in another match against another former women's champion in Beth Phoenix. Now, Stephanie McMahon is a former women's champion in her own right.
Absolutely.
Granted, that championship run was
questionable.
It was basically. I mean, let's be honest. It was mostly for storyline purposes.
Yep.
For the marriage she had with Triple H. But this is a much older Stephanie McMahon. First and foremost.
Yes.
This is a Stephanie McMahon who has been training with her husband nonstop, who has gotten in the ring and who has shown a bit of ring prowess.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm genuinely surprised that she is taking on these former women's champions to become the next women's champion here in Dreamscape Wrestling.
Well, and that's the thing about Dreamscape Wrestling. It is definitely the landscape for everyone to prove. All the underdogs of the past, all of the ones who were looked down on and not taken seriously, to prove themselves as the greatest of all time, as we just saw with William Regal.
Absolutely.
Yes, she's faced other champions, but you got to also mention she took Trish to the limit.
She absolutely did.
She almost won.
Yeah, she came very close. She came very, very close to moving on into the next round. To move on to the next round in that women's championship tournament.
So the winner here will face China, the women's champion, at Limbo. And Beth Phoenix is definitely a different monster than Trish Stratus. No disrespect meant to the Glamazon. But, I mean, let's get into it. Let's see how this match unfolds.
I'm really looking forward.
Stephanie going for that slap right off the bat. The disrespect.
Beth Phoenix is
having none of it with a big Alabama slammer.
Beth knowing her opponent well enough, bobbing and weaving there, getting out of the way of that right hand of Steph.
And already in a single leg crab here, starting to break down the leg of Stephanie McMahon.
Beth Phoenix is definitely going to be using her power. This is going to be her match, her game to play. Slight pun intended. She has basically every advantage over Steph at this point.
Absolutely. You're talking about ring experience. You talk about strength. Even speed, I would say Beth has the advantage in. I don't know how Stephanie could overcome Beth.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is Stephanie using.
Look at the strength.
Using what she's learned from the game.
Yeah.
From the student of the game in Triple H, using what she's learned to hone her craft and to study her opponents.
Yeah, and there's Stephanie rolling out of the way of an elbow, trying to get back on top. Glamazon has definitely been in control as she shows off her strength
Phoenix
again.
Is having none of Stephanie's gains here. As Beth goes to the top, goes for an elbow drop, 3/4 of the way across the ring. Stephanie rolling out of the way here.
And this is where Stephanie's bread and butter has to be. It's cheap, it's dirty, but that's how she's got to do it. This is how she's going to have to win.
It's effective, is what it is.
Beth Phoenix, again, is a whole different level of competitor. And Stephanie's going to have to break out all the tricks.
She's going to have to use every single one of her wiles to break down the more powerful Beth Phoenix in order to come away the winner here today. And like you said, Francis, cheap shots are what's going to work. You saw that hair pull to the mat. And now Steph going to the top rope, dropping the elbow, but to no
Phoenix
avail.
Gets out of the way. But again, she gets right back up. Stephanie does not... She knows she does not have the luxury of being able to recover from something like that.
She does not have Daddy here to help her out.
No, and she does not have her husband in her corner.
Not
she
at
is
this
on her
particular
own.
time. Yeah, exactly. This in this particular landscape of professional wrestling, it's every person for themselves unless you're in a team or in a stable of some sort, as we saw earlier with the Kingsmen, and now
a beautiful head scissor by Stephanie got right back in control.
That's a shock. That's, again, Stephanie McMahon using what she's learned, taking the time to train with her husband to hone the craft that her family has helped build for the last 40 years or so.
And how does Stephanie feel that she is just another wrestler now, that she doesn't have that family support?
She may not have that family
and that
support,
pull.
but it's that lineage that she has.
And a big DDT, she catches her and she comes back in the ring.
It's using that lineage, that history, that family dichotomy that's gonna help her be a better character, I guess, so to say.
Yeah, and I mean, this can only help her grow.
I mean, we've seen the transformation Stephanie McMahon has had over the years, from being just Vince's daughter to the $1 billion princess to the queen of the WWE. So it's not hard to say that Stephanie McMahon isn't capable of holding her own and becoming not just another professional wrestler.
And look at the strength of Beth Phoenix here.
Jesus. The blood rushing to the head of Stephanie McMahon.
One-handed. Beth Phoenix toying.
Beth Phoenix using her power. Her strength is going to be her greatest asset here. But Stephanie McMahon, again, the smaller, a little bit more nimble here.
Now some back and forth here. Someone trying to get the upper hand, and now look at this pedigree lined up.
Stephanie hit the pedigree.
That could be it. That could be it.
Is that going to be enough to take down the Glamazon?
This could be a major upset for the Glamazon. 2 major upsets in a row for the Glamazon. She rolls her up. Might be too close to the ropes. No, not quite. 1, 2. Oh,
wow.
Beth just got the shoulder
Beth
up.
kicks out at 2 7/8.
And another big DDT.
Apparently, that pedigree was just not strong enough. Just not strong enough. But again, Stephanie McMahon is proving why she deserves to be here and why she deserves to be taken more seriously as a competitor.
And now on the second rope here, as she drops an elbow, but Beth blocks it into a big backbreaker. And Beth back in control. You know, I wonder what kind of frustration is setting in for Steph as you talk about the pedigree, one of the most feared moves in professional wrestling.
Definitely one of the most powerful and definitely one of the more devastating. It's a move that Triple H developed in his career, and it's a move that other people have used. It's about the way the move is delivered. It's definitely about the way the move is delivered. Are you holding the arms tight enough as you're dropping your opponent down to lay all of their weight down, and they have no way to cushion themselves? That's definitely something you have to take into consideration, and it also depends on the power. Are you developing enough strength to, when you kick them in the gut,
nasty kick to the head,
to knock them out?
Wait, what's Stephanie doing?
Stephanie going back into the ring now.
She climbed up to the top. What is she doing?
Oh,
big elbow!
Stephanie, what the hell was that?
Shades from Shane! Shades from Shane!
Stephanie McMahon just jumped off the top rope to Beth Phoenix, laid on the outside of the ring. What the hell is this?
And that is something we have neglected to say. You know, we keep talking about her husband, we keep talking about her father, but what about her brother's recklessness?
The daredevil, death-defying Shane McMahon. You know, this is something I never thought I'd see from Stephanie McMahon. That willing to take risks, not from Shane's side though.
Well, I mean, this is what it's all about in Dreamscape. There is no family to lean on. There are no shortcuts. There is no easy way out. All you can do is fight to be the best in the company. And now Beth Phoenix back in control here after that devastating elbow by Stephanie McMahon.
Beth Phoenix the
count was getting high there. She had to break the count.
Absolutely, she brushed the elbow drop as if it were nothing, though.
And that's the power, the dominance of Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon.
These women spending quite an awful time outside of the ring.
Now Beth Phoenix.
What's she going for here?
Oh! Face first into the steps.
It looks like she had just missed the steps. Any closer, she probably could have taken Steph's head off.
And that's... Oh, and Steph with a big float over neck breaker. That's these two women are going at it. We're going to war right now.
This is definitely this just proves how important the women's championship is here in Dreamscape.
Oh, look at this! Look at this! A second pedigree! A second pedigree!
Again, if you notice right there though, Francis, the way she let go of her opponent's arms right before she dropped them that's what I'm talking about.
See,
her technique.
2, 3. Oh, Stephanie! Beth kicks out again.
Beth being able to hold herself before crashing down into the mat that's what I'm talking about. Is her technique a little flawed here? Yes, the pedigree is a devastating move, but is it her technique that's holding her back?
It might be, but I mean, right now she is in full control of this match. Well, there's an elbow by Beth Phoenix as she starts fighting out of the corner, and Beth Phoenix looking for
It looks like she's looking for a power slam here.
Oh!
Nasty power slam there, almost dropping Steph on her head. And Beth, what is she going for here?
Wheelbarrow and into a face plant. And now look at this. Look at this stretch. Look at this stretch. Stephanie McMahon in a very compromising position.
That's a bit of a kinky.
That's
a little.
Oh,
kinky.
that's it. Stephanie gave up. Stephanie gave up. Oh.
Beth Phoenix
will face China at Limbo.
Here is your winner, the
for the women's championship, but you got to make a case that Stephanie should be in that match.
Absolutely, definitely. You can't say Stephanie McMahon doesn't deserve to be here. That match just proved that Stephanie is willing to put her body on the line to become a champion.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, you talk about wars. The winner of their one-on-one match, Kane, will face the winner of their backstage brawl, JBL, one-on-one. Each of their partners in their corner leading into their tag team championship match at Limbo. So, I mean, this rivalry has been everything we could have hoped to be. But that new ripcord clothesline from hell from JBL has really taken the landscape by storm.
Oh, for sure. JBL definitely having to change his offensive here to try to keep up with a lot of the modern styles going on. Trying to keep things a little fresh here, but also add some flair to his moveset. And here come the Brothers of Destruction now. This has definitely been a unique setting for the Brothers of Destruction, facing a team who are on about a similar level of brawl, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm trying to phrase it exactly, Francis.
APA can dissect and destroy their opponents and manhandle their opponents just as efficiently as the Brothers of Destruction.
Oh yeah, see the I don't think the Brothers of Destruction have met a team that haven't been afraid of them yet.
And that's the interesting part. And that's the dynamic again of Dreamscape Wrestling. There is, how much of a psychological edge do you have against the best in the world?
That's a really good question, and you can't deny that the combination of the Undertaker, the young Ministry Undertaker, along with the more seasoned, experienced Kane, don't rival the tenacity that the APA have.
Absolutely, and this tag team match of Limbo is going to be off the charts. They have not announced a stipulation. However, the mysterious owner of Dreamscape Wrestling has sent out a message that there will be a stipulation for this tag match, and we will not know what it is until later in the week when he has announced that he will be having a special announcement for Limbo, including the tag team championship match. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
I mean, what else can you throw at these four titans that either hasn't already been thrown at them, or that's basically gonna send them to hell?
And that's the question. But you never know who's gonna show up at Dreamscape Wrestling. You never know who's going to team up. Remember, the world-class champions are now out there. And when you look at Bradshaw and you look at Farouk, they're bruisers. They've always been bruisers. They're always some of the most feared tag teams come out there. You look at the Brothers of Destruction. Fear, fear, fear. But let's talk about the 21-time champions, Booker T and Ric Flair.
You know, Booker T and Ric Flair, when you talk about the world-class champions, you talk about prestige. Again, 21 championships between the two of them. Granted, most of them belong to Ric Flair, but that's
22 actually. Isn't Booker T a sixth time?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
absolutely
22
right.
championships.
Can't forget that World Heavyweight Championship run from Rey Mysterio, but you're talking wrestling royalty there between the two of them.
Yes, absolutely, and Booker T has always made it a point to be one of the great, and that's through the generations. As long as he was active, he was always in the conversation of one of the best wrestlers out there.
No doubt. Booker T still, to this day, proving that he is and always will be one of the greats. But as we transition into this match here, the two Titans,
Kane looking for that clothesline, maybe? No. JBL rolled away from him in the corner. Very smart of JBL.
Look
catches
at the
him
power of
right
JBL.
into the last call.
The strength of the Texan picking up
Oh, nasty boot.
The devil's favorite demon, and just tossing him like a rag doll.
And this is what we're talking about, the pure brutality of these two teams.
Look at that elbow drop from JBL.
Beautiful technique.
It's very rare to see Bradshaw going to the top rope, but in this situation, he's going to have to throw out as many stops as he can in front of Kane to knock him down a couple of pegs. You know, they're the tag team champions. You remember the match that they had at the first Lucid? It was just a lot of back and forth, never ending. And they proved why they wanted to be tag team champions. Bradshaw re-teaming with his old partner and best friend Farouk to reform the APA and have that tag team title run that they so deservedly needed.
And remember, JBL powerbombing The Undertaker over the top rope to the outside, yes, which kind of set the fire to this rivalry leading into Limbo. And now JBL with a arm trap torture rack.
That's a very interesting move here. Again, JBL pulling out a bunch of surprises. He's definitely got some hidden techniques in his repertoire there. Evolving over time, and now Kane picking up JBL, throwing him into the top turnbuckle, and then just again throwing him like a rag doll. These are two tall men that shouldn't really be throwing each other around like that.
And now a big backbreaker from Bradshaw. You saw Kane again going to the well trying to get that flying clothesline.
And that's a signature move of Kane's. He wants to use the height.
Oh, there's that snap powerbomb though. And that could be the beginning of the end for Kane.
Bradshaw not going for the cover.
Going for the clothesline from hell, but Kane moves out of the way.
A little too close there. And now Kane with the claw. Kane's got the iron claw on JBL. Is he gonna tap out here?
Oh, you feel everything. All the pressure on the temples.
On that frontal lobe. And it looks like some of the damage may have been done. JBL able to fight out of there, but again, like I was trying to mention earlier,
looking for a pump handle, but Kane hip tosses his way out of it.
JBL trying to go for the clothesline from hell, but a little too close there. Each of these men trying to hit one of their big moves. Kane trying to hit that clothesline from the top rope, using that height, that momentum, that power.
And now once again going to the top rope is Kane.
But he goes elbow drop again.
An elbow drop of his own.
These two big men are surprising hell out of me right now.
They're going for the gusto here. And there's the Goozle. Goozle up and down from the choke
Is
slam.
that going to be enough?
That could be it. That's got to be it. There's no way.
And Kane kicks. No, I'm sorry, JBL.
JBL
right?
kicks out of the choke slam.
Kicked out of the choke slam.
And then this is what I'm talking about. This is the Dreamscape wrestling atmosphere. Is it ever going to be one finishing maneuver is enough?
At this point, it doesn't look like it. All of our competitors here have a drive.
They have power.
They're hungry to be the best.
And they are devouring championships.
And now Kane going a little old school.
Oh, looking for the tombstone, but Bradshaw turned it around. Bradshaw tombstone Kane. Bradshaw tombstone Kane.
Now going for the cover there, and now the Undertaker catching JBL's attention, but Bradshaw brushing off that distraction, going for a big move from behind. Kane reversed it, and now again these two men back and forth.
And another big DDT from Kane. And now going right back to that claw.
There it is again.
Right back to the claw. The pressure all on the lobes. Undertaker's taunting JBL, and that's it. JBL's out. I don't think he tapped. I think he's out.
Passed out to the claw. The pressure was just too much.
Yeah, JBL's never one to tap, but passes out, loses consciousness as Kane gets a huge win for the Birds of Destruction going into Limbo. And now, what's this? Bradshaw
Kane extending a hand.
And Bradshaw showing some respect. The two bruisers showing some respect going into their match. An interesting turn.
Quite a surprise here. I definitely thought there was a little bit of bad blood there, but respect recognizes respect.
Apparently. Well, we're going to move right on, folks, to our next match. Papa Shango suffering a disappointing defeat to The Rock last week will go one-on-one again, searching for his first win at Dreamscape against Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Texas Rattlesnake making his in-ring singles debut here in Dreamscape Wrestling, and I gotta say, it is such an exciting feeling to see Stone Cold in a ring again.
Absolutely, and you know, he looks just as good as ever, thanks to the technology that Dreamscape Wrestling can use.
You got Stone Cold in his prime.
Papa Shango has his hands full.
Oh, you do not want to piss off this version of Austin. I mean, you don't want to piss off any version of Austin, but this is WWE champion Stone Cold Steve Austin, former King of the Ring, former Intercontinental champion. This is a man who will run down anyone and anybody standing in his way and drink a couple of beers afterwards.
Speaking of which, how about the attack on The Rock last week after his match with Papa Shango?
You know, it's like fate, Francis.
They can't stay away from each other.
They cannot stay away from each other at all. And Papa Shango, unfortunately, kind of like the
scapegoat.
Yeah, he's the scapegoat.
The whipping boy.
That's a good way of putting it. He's kind of in the middle of these two.
Yeah, and you know, he's just trying to get his first win, and Papa Shango came out the other day and said that, you know, he just wants to prove that he is one of the best by getting a win against one of the best that Dreamscape Wrestling has to offer.
I mean, unless he's got some other intentions, Papa Shango is basically kind of at the mercy of Austin and The Rock, at this point.
Well, Papa Shango is not one to be trifled with, however, so if he can pull off the upset today, you have to believe that will shoot him to the top of the ranks of almost every title in contention here in DSW.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if it helps him get into Intercontinental Championship contention after defeat. I mean, how can you not be in some kind of championship contention after defeating the Texas Rattlesnake?
Exactly. And Austin coming out again with those famous piston-like right hands.
Yeah, but Papa Shango, again, countering when he can, going to the top rope, and Austin looking to knock Papa Shango down a little too late. Shango able to hit the right hand there, and now laying it into Steve Austin. Austin, though,
not having any of it as a dragon screw, and now going to his normal beat them down until they are a bloody stain on the mat style. And Papa Shango trying his best to fight out here, but do we really think that Papa Shango has a chance here?
Don't count Papa Shango out.
I'm not going to count him out, but
look, you never.
It's Stone Cold.
It is
Stone Cold.
You know what? Yes, it is Stone Cold. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock decides to make an appearance here tonight.
That's a good point.
After that assault by Stone Cold last week.
That's a very good point. Big clothesline by Steve Austin as he continues his warpath on Papa Shango here. This is a very pissed off Steve Austin. You know, I think that a lot of it is that he believes he should have won the Royal Rumble for the Dreamscape Heavyweight title. There is not much more of a consummate world champion than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, but you know, the Royal Rumble is all about luck. It's all about...
Oh, and there's a Luthez press.
It's all about the numbers. You either get a lucky draw or you don't. And it's simple as that. I mean, yes...
Oh, and there it is, Stunner! That's it. That's it. Count it. You can count to 50. It's over. 2, 3. Papa Shango has lost again. And Stone Cold, in definitive fashion, wins. As Stone Cold, I mean... He's got to go for the title. It's The Rock. The Rock is here. The Rock is here. The Rock is here. Rock gets in the ring, and he's grabbing Austin for a big back suplex.
And see, it's just like I told you. What I said, what if, and it happens.
And this big drop kick, and now the boots being laid to Austin.
The Rock is getting his retribution here after that attack
and
by
here
Stone
it
Cold.
is.
Rock
setting up for him.
Here. Waiting.
And here it is, big one, rock bottom!
Huge rock bottom there by The Rock.
And The Rock has left Stone Cold laying in the middle of the ring. Oh, this has to come to a head. this has to come to a head at Limbo.
Not so much will it's coming to a head because we know it is. Question is, will it ever come to an end?
I don't know. These, the great Captain Barbosa once said to Jack Sparrow, "Are we forced to be titans locked in a battle till the end of days?"
Speaking of titans, ladies and gentlemen, we have our main event of the evening.
Eight-man battle
royal to determine the number one contender for Rey Mysterio Jr.'s DSW World Championship.
That's right. The winner of this match will go on to Limbo to face Rey Mysterio one-on-one for the Dreamscape Wrestling World Heavyweight title.
Here comes Rey Mysterio's friend?
Nemesis, tag team partner, brother from another mother, uncle/daddy to his son.
Here comes Eddie Guerrero.
Who is your poppy, Eddie Guerrero?
Latino Heat is making his way. And you know what, Francis? I'm honestly not surprised that Eddie Guerrero is in this match.
It doesn't surprise me either, because even when Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero were tag team champions, they still wanted to fight each other at WrestleMania to find out who is the best. So it's just...
you know what? Rey and Eddie is like Austin and Rock.
I'm not afraid to go there with you. I would put that on the same vein.
Those four men are just attracted to each other
in one way or another.
Whether they're teaming up, whether they're fighting each other, fate has a weird way of drawing them together.
Absolutely, and Eddie Guerrero is a fantastic first competitor for this Battle Royal, but who will be the second competitor? You saw the participants in the screen ahead, but we really didn't go over them, so let's see who's next. Bret the Hitman.
The excellence of execution.
Best there is.
Best there was.
And the best there ever will be.
And wild question at this point, kind of question. He is the best there ever was. He is definitely...
Of the past, yes. In-ring work, he is the best to ever do it.
Solid.
However, I would make an argument that Daniel Bryan has surpassed him.
I would agree with that.
Daniel Bryan may be the greatest wrestler to ever step in a ring.
I am now going to refer to that man as Daniel Bryan Danielson.
That's absolutely fine. And I know hasn't shown up here in Dreamscape as of yet.
But the best there is now, I will definitely have to give it to Danielson.
Absolutely. But Bret Hart is still one of the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
And definitely a threat to Rey Mysterio.
He's a threat to anyone that stands in his way, anyone that steps in the ring. Speaking of threats to Bret Hart, let's talk about this man.
Coming from the locker room as he does, Bill Goldberg.
The man that took out Bret Hart and cost him his career.
2,231 and a half straight wins at WCW.
A man who had never been defeated, who won the United States Championship and the WCW World Championship.
The only way he can ever be defeated is by a cattle prod.
Or by Brock Lesnar.
The intimidating factor of standing in the sparklers and the smoke breathing and just up there is one of the most intimidating presences in wrestling history.
Former Atlanta Falcon. This man is a tank, and you definitely don't want to get hit with one or multiple spears.
Yeah, absolutely. And once that spear hits you, the match is pretty much over.
This matchup we have for the heavyweight title contention, you got a who's who. You got a variety. You got some titans. You got some technicians. You have a beast in this match.
Speaking of the beast,
I mean, we have yet to see.
He's coming out. We know that. We just don't know when. And now, right after Goldberg, we have... Who's it going to be?
It's the Macho Man.
The Macho
Bonesaw is making his way to the ring. This is a man who is kind of a wild card in this match when you look at who we have in the ring.
Absolutely, but you cannot discount him as this man has championed written all over him.
The former Macho King, Randy Savage. Just what a legacy this man has laid in the world of professional wrestling.
King of the Ring, Miss Elizabeth, World Champion,
Tag Team Champion,
the World Powers,
the Mega Powers,
Mega Powers. My God,
this gone too soon. But again, what a mark he has left here in the world of wrestling, and I'm very excited to see if he can stand toe to toe with giants.
The Mega Powers implosion, by the way, I would put up there with some of the greatest rivalries, or one of the greatest storylines of all time.
Absolutely. When you talk about one of the greatest, you can't.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Triple H.
The Game, the Cerebral Assassin, the King of Kings, my personal favorite wrestler. The Ring General of Ring Generals. The only heel that I believe surpassed Ric Flair's top heat.
I would agree with you on all of that. He learned from the dirtiest player in the game.
Of course.
He looked up to, he idolized Ric Flair, and Ric Flair taught him what he knew during those years in Evolution, and he used that to become a better performer, a better character, a better man.
Absolutely. And then you have the Reign of Terror, of course, with the World Heavyweight Championship and Evolution.
Those are memorable years. But again, Triple H's career is definitely Hall of Fame worthy. Not just the DX induction, but his singles career. He's done it all. He has done it all. Grand Slam champion. Again, Hall of Famer. It's hard. It's hard as a fan to see him leave the boots in the ring.
And it would be a travesty if he was not in the Hall of Fame next year.
Absolutely.
He should be the headliner, the main event, the showstopper of the main event.
Well,
I said what I said.
well, that man is actually gonna make his way to the ring in a little while. His best friend,
coming
Shawn
up
Michaels.
next.
Speaking
the
of best friend,
other member of the clique.
Another member of the clique in Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Honking that horn, the big man making his way to the ring here. And there is no denying that Diesel is a contender for the World Championship. Former WWF champion, former WCW champion, WCW Tag Team champion. This man was pivotal in carrying the World Wrestling Federation throughout the New Generation era in the mid-90s.
Love him or hate him, if Kevin Nash is around, he's a problem.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, who do you have in this match so far?
Honestly,
this is some tough competition. I feel bad for Eddie almost, and Eddie's fantastic.
I feel bad for Macho. I feel bad for Brett. But you know, you can't count out the small guys either.
Yeah.
While they have been looked down upon so much, and like we mentioned, that this is the spot, this is the place for them to shine. This is definitely the place for them to shine. These are men who have dealt with the odds and know how to overcome them. And here comes the pain.
Here comes the pain, indeed.
The
beast incarnate. The one in 21-1.
The possible favorite to win this match.
Defeating The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. In controversial fashion, obviously.
Mind you, but the world was stunned.
The reigning, defending. I feel like even if he doesn't have the belt, he is the reigning, defending heavyweight champion of the world. Brock Lesnar, as Pat McAfee said, the alpha of our species.
Absolutely. And what a species he is.
What else can you really say about Brock Lesnar? He's a champion in amateur wrestling at Minnesota.
He was the youngest WWE champion in history. Until Randy Orton won.
The only wrestler to go from world champion in WWE to become a world heavyweight champion in UFC.
The only athlete to make the successful transition from sports entertainment to combat sport. Now, mind you, there was a bit of a bump trying to get back into football, but if it wasn't for that, it was a learning experience to definitely take him back to the world of professional wrestling to allow him to make a transition to combat sports.
But now, let's talk about one of your favorites.
Mr. WrestleMania.
The showstopper.
The main event.
The headliner.
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, ladies and gentlemen. Can you think of someone more exciting? Can you think of anyone more exciting?
Not. One of the greatest performers of all time. He definitely lives up to Bret Hart's moniker in the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. But Shawn just brings a different, unique flavor to the table, which to me is like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, and it's that cocky swagger, the arrogance, the degenerate. Back in the day. Now he has found God.
A little bit of a degenerate.
Still
Just a little bit.
Has his smile though.
Yeah, he's got a little.
One of the greatest of all time. But here we go, right into the Battle Royal, as Brock Lesnar going straight after Bret Hart, showing him this is how a suplex is done.
Macho Man going in there with Shawn, Goldberg and Nash, and Triple H and Eddie.
Goldberg and Nash, plenty of history there.
I'm sorry, Diesel, Goldberg and Diesel. Do we just call him Nash? I don't know.
Just call him Nash.
It's fine. Beautiful springboard elbow there by Shawn Michaels onto Savage there, and now Eddie. Look at Eddie. Eddie's going toe to toe with Goldberg.
He's going for it.
Eddie's gonna be the surprise in this match.
And that's the thing. After the match they had with Booker T and Ric Flair,
Brainbuster. Eddie just hit the Brainbuster on Goldberg
right off the bat.
Goldberg's down.
So again, right after the match that Eddie had with Booker T and Ric Flair last year, the war of attrition that it was. He's got to be feeling himself a little bit.
Absolutely.
And
Eddie's in a prime position to be a big name here in Dreamscape Wrestling. He already is a big name, but he's priming himself to be the guy. Like he wants to be the man. Now, mind you, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and the man is the 16-time world champion Ric Flair. Excuse me.
Actually, the man right now is Rey Mysterio, the Dreamscape Heavyweight Champion. That is the goal here. That is who these men are trying to face in 6 days at Limbo.
And at the moment, no eliminations have been felt yet.
Each competitor wants this title just as bad as the other.
The question is, who wants it more?
We're going to find out tonight as Brock Lesnar now manhandling Kevin Nash.
And now Bret and Macho in the corner there. Two technicians just going back and forth. But again, this is not the place for a technical match.
No, this is where you beat your opponent down until you can get him over the top rope, both feet hitting the floor. And there goes Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels has been eliminated.
Goldberg eliminating Shawn Michaels here first, and now Goldberg may have a sense of momentum on his side. But did you see, real quick though, did you see that powerful display by Triple H on Guerrero? That stalling suplex. We're definitely seeing something here.
Absolutely, and who would have thought that Shawn Michaels would be the first one gone, and now a Razor's Edge variation from Kevin Nash onto the Macho Man, paying respect to the late great Scott Hall.
And now Goldberg trying to take out Bret Hart here.
Bret trying to hold on. He's fighting, but Goldberg able to get rid of the Hitman.
Goldberg has eliminated
two eliminations.
Not just any two. He has eliminated Bret and Shawn.
Which has history right there.
Exactly. So now I gotta wonder: are either one of those men Do either one of those men have Goldberg in their sights?
It's very possible. I mean, do we have another tag team coming out? That I mean, these guys are realizing that, you know, as good as they are up against the absolute best of all time.
And Savage eliminating Triple H with a huge clothesline over the top rope.
Come on.
And now we're down to 5.
I wanted Triple H versus Ray. I wanted Triple H versus Ray.
We would have loved to see that. We definitely would have loved to see that. Now, Guerrero, Eddie here, taunting the crowd, definitely feeling himself, but a little too much there.
Absolutely, and you know,
this is a match where you can't turn your backs on your opponents, especially when you have 5 of the biggest names to ever exist in professional wrestling.
And my point that I was trying to make before, you know, these guys are so used to being the best, and now they're facing the best. It's going to lead to some weird teams.
Weird matchups, just a lot of unique matchups there. Reverse suplex by Guerrero onto Macho. Eddie Guerrero has been in this match since. Just the fact that he's still in this match, and look who he's up against: Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Diesel, Macho Man. Guerrero is the smallest man in this match, and he is going toe to toe to toe to toe.
Eddie's never going to give up. He's never going to stop and say, you know what, I've had enough. He is always going to thrust his name into the books as one of the greatest. And him and Macho Man kind of in control of this match right now with the likes of Goldberg, Diesel, and Brock Lesnar.
And it's surprising, Eddie Guerrero in control of these bigger men. You saw he just took down the Beast incarnate. He took down Goldberg. And now Goldberg with the sidekick knocking down Brock Lesnar. What is it going to take to be the #1 contender?
Well, you could never forget about the fact that Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar for his first World Championship.
I can never forget. Macho Man just eliminated Diesel. Diesel's out.
Diesel is gone. Diesel is gone. We are down to 4.
Look at what
Eddie Guerrero, Macho Man Randy Savage,
Goldberg, and Brock Lesnar.
I mean,
who would have thunk it?
Who doesn't want to see the end? Whoever wins versus Rey Mysterio. Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio.
Goldberg versus Rey Mysterio.
Macho Man versus Rey Mysterio.
Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio for the upteam time.
Yeah, but you can't say you don't want to see it again.
Oh no, of course I always want to see Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, but I would love to see any one of these men take on Rey Mysterio Jr. for the Dreamscape Wrestling Championship. Excuse me.
And you know Rey is intently watching this backstage,
studying all of his opponents. And especially keeping an eye out, especially keeping a close eye on these final 4 here.
Absolutely. Now Goldberg, might be
Goldberg
looking for the big neck breaker. And Brock Lesnar manhandling Eddie.
Is Brock gonna eliminate Eddie?
He is. There goes Eddie over the top right there. So Eddie is gone. It is either going to be Macho Man Goldberg or Brock Lesnar.
Are we going to see Brock and Goldberg again?
It might come down to Brock and Goldberg final
Goldberg setting up for the
jackhammer.
jackhammer.
For the jackhammer. There it is, slamming Brock Lesnar down.
He's got to just get him over the top rope. Can he do it though?
And Macho Man being smart, just staying in that corner, trying to will himself back into the match.
Macho Man definitely trying to stay out of this dogfight.
Absolutely. Now thrown into the corner by Goldberg. Goldberg runs at him, trying to get rid of him. Now Macho Man fighting back.
That unique experience and style by the Macho Man. But is that going to be enough? Goldberg singles.
Big butterfly suplex.
Definitely single lock suplex there, and it looked like Goldberg was going for the elimination, but he hesitated a little bit.
And Brock Lesnar took advantage as he goes with a release German suplex onto Goldberg. And
Macho's in a precarious position here, just laying on the rope there. Neither one taking advantage, but Brock Lesnar trying to take out his old rival Goldberg. Can he do it?
And there he goes. There he goes. It's Macho Man and Brock Lesnar.
Who's it going to be?
Macho Man and Brock Lesnar. One of these two men will go on, and now look at the power of Macho Man getting out of that full Nelson.
Can Macho Man overcome the challenge, the obstacle, the mountain that is the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar and face Rey Mysterio Jr. for the DSW Championship?
Looking for the F5
at Limbo.
Macho Man fights out of the F5, breaking the eyes of Brock Lesnar. Macho Man will do whatever it takes to try to get a chance at the Dreamscape Wrestling Championship here. Now, fighting, clawing, pushing, everything he can do to get Brock Lesnar out of the ring. And there he goes! Macho Man's going to Limbo! Macho Man is going to Limbo! It will be Macho Man versus Rey Mysterio one-on-one for the Dreamscape Heavyweight Championship.
Limbo.
6 days, ladies and gentlemen. 6 days. Limbo comes to No Collar Entertainment. Make sure you tune in. That is it for us today. Macho Man is going to face Rey Mysterio.